But how do you detach yourself from your emotions?
It's not about detaching yourself from your emotions. I feel every single emotion. It's just about
let it go.
using them all in a positive direction.
Yeah.
If I feel extremely happy and excited, I'm going to use that as motivation or energy to do amazing things and do good and work hard. If I feel absolutely depressed and distraught, I'm going to use that as endless energy and motivation to do amazing things and work hard. It doesn't matter what you give me. Energy cannot be destroyed. It can only be converted and transferred. It doesn't matter what fuel you give me. If you give me diesel, petrol, kerosene, vodka, doesn't matter what you put inside of my engine.
Hard work is going to come out.
Absolutely.
Success.
That's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
That's all I know how to do. It doesn't matter what fuel you put in my engine. My engine only knows how to do one thing, and that is succeed. That's all I know how to do.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter what you feed me with. I'm going to be massively successful regardless.
Yeah.
Doesn't change it.
Yeah.
I can't imagine truly wanting to quit something and not being able to quit. I can't imagine it. Like when I talk to people who say, I want to quit smoking, I say, when? They go, oh, well, soon. Well, that means you don't want to quit. You want to keep smoking for a while and quit later. Like I could quit cigars today. Like it wouldn't even plague my mind. Like if I wanted to quit, I'd quit. I can't imagine a mind frame or a mindset where I want to do something and can't do it.
Right.
So it's almost difficult for me to answer that question, because if you have that kind of mind, if your mind is so fundamentally broken that you cannot do with your own mind what you want to do,
Right.
you know, like that, then you're just fucked, right? Life is hierarchical. There's always going to be kings and there's always going to be peasants. If you have a mind that you can't control, then you're never going to be a king. You're going to be a peasant. That's your life. You have a peasant's life ahead of you, and that's your destiny. Enjoy, right? There's always been peasants. That's life. But I believe that the most important thing you can do as a man is to gain control of your own, is to gain control of your mind. Once you have control of your mind, life is so ridiculously easy. It's so ridiculously easy. Did they all come home and need therapy, or did they all come home and get back to life?
Get back to life.
Because everyone was taught to have a mind that they control because they needed it to survive. There's no one else. That's how life worked back then. Now imagine there was a war that big. Imagine the fucking therapy, the fallout, the fucking bullshit. No one would be able to fucking even just go back and I'm not saying they didn't see bad things. I'm not saying it's not hard. It's fucking horrible. But that's how it works. That's life. Like I've seen shit. Like we've all had our trauma. You have to get through it.
Like why would I give a shit about, being strong or having the fight to protect? The reason I care about being strong is so I can not only protect myself, but protect people I care about. The reason I want to be rich is not only so I can buy myself stuff, so I can provide for my family.
Yeah.
Like every single position of strength comes with a derivative of softness underneath it. There's some emotion involved in it. If I was really a person who had no soft side whatsoever and I didn't give a fuck, I don't think I'd be the way I am. I think I'd be complete opposite. I think there are people like that who are so inherently selfish, but those people are not successful people. Those are people who sit on the couch all day, watch TV, smoke weed, and do nothing, or go and rob grandmas. Like, I don't consider myself an emotionally hard person. I get called a sociopath all the time and a psychopath all the time. I get called that, but I don't think people understand that there is a version of the world where you can feel things and really not give a fuck how you feel. Like if I feel sad, it does not change how I act, and it does not change the things I do. If I don't feel like going to the gym, I go to the gym. If I don't feel like working, I will still work. I lived in a world for 15 years where I didn't feel like fighting because my nose was broken, but I had to fight anyway. Mm-hmm. So a lot of these people come to me and they say, oh, but I feel this way. I don't put a huge amount of importance on emotions. It's not that I don't feel them. It's that I don't think they have much to do with anything at all. If I wake up in a happy mood and I have a business to run and females to cater for and things to do, if I wake up in a sad mood, I have the same shit to do. I'm gonna get it done. So where's the importance of it? It's in my mind, that's how I view it. Like, how does it affect what I'm gonna do? Well, nothing, it doesn't. It's not gonna affect how I live my life, so why sit around and think about it? This modern obsession with happiness is the number one problem with the world. Because I really don't believe humans were ever evolved to be happy. Mm-hmm. Were we? Tell me, you're the expert, bro. Where did it come in our timeline that we were supposed to be happy all the time?
Like, you look at Tyson Fury, right? How can you not respect the heavyweight champ? Gypsy King, G, right? And he was talking about how he was depressed and how he fought his way out of it and everything. Huge respect for the guy. He was depressed, and the only way he fought and beat his depression was one day he got up, grabbed himself by the bootstraps, got in the gym, became the champ again,
brought himself back to the former champion he was. He did it himself, right? And I think that that's really the only way any of these things can be beaten. I think if I were to talk to Tyson, or Tyson were to talk to anybody, he'd say the same thing. He'd say, look, end of the day, even if you're struggling, it's you that's gonna have to get up and get the work done and change your life. You're depressed, but you can beat this, you can do this. I don't hear them saying that very often. They just sit there and say, everyone's depressed and it's normal, accept it. And I don't accept that. I don't accept that. I don't think people should sit there and accept that they're sad. Change it. I think only you can change it. That's what I believe.
It's absolutely incredible to me that people will go through life and defend this debilitating disease, right? They'll stick up for depression because it's a cure-all excuse. It's their excuse to not try very hard, and they can pull it out in a bag. Well, look, I'm depressed. I said on the last show, I'll actually tell you why I'm calling myself Dowson recently. On the last show, there's a clip. If you watch my last one-on-one interview, and I talked about two men in haunted houses. Yeah. And I said that depression, you can only become clinically depressed if you believe in depression. I'm not saying you cannot feel depressed. I'm not saying you cannot feel sad. I'm not saying bad things won't happen to you. I'm not saying every day is sunshine and fucking rainbows. I'm saying the mindset that you enter, like Skippy, that you are depressed and you can do nothing about it and it can't be fixed, is accepting clinical depression as a disease. If you accept it exists, then it can damage you, right? If I become sad, I know there will be a day where I'm no longer sad. But if I become sad and I believe in depression, then I'm gonna sit there and go, maybe I'm gonna feel this way forever. I can't help this. On the line, it says that I have something wrong with my brain chemistry. It says that everybody feels depressed and it can't be fixed. It says I need to take a bunch of pills. It says I need to go to a therapist. It says I'm gonna have, and you start to believe in it and it gets worse. It's the belief which gives it power. I gave an example last time I was on this show. I said you take two men, both in haunted houses. One believes in ghosts, one doesn't. There's the same noise in the night. The one who believes in ghosts starts crying his eyes out. Now he's scared of ghosts, wants an exorcist. He's sitting there in bed, panicking. The guy who doesn't believe in ghosts says wind and goes back to sleep. Same noise. The reason one of them is being tormented is because of his belief. By absolute coincidence, when I was busting a bitch up in Street Fighter, I won as Dowson. And Dowson had a win quote. You know when you win and at the end it shows the frame and the other quote? His win quote was this: my flame was only an illusion. It burned you because you believed. Now, I cannot deny that feeling depressed is real because every single human on the planet sometimes feels depressed. Feeling depressed is real, but being a depressive or having depression is something else. I accept that if I do feel depressed or I do feel sad or I do feel negative, which is actually very rare for me, but if it does ever happen, I understand I'm human and it's an emotion I'm going through and it will pass. People who have depression believe that they have a disease that can't be fixed and can't be cured. You are handing your power away. You're giving your power to an outside source and you're saying that I have no control over this. It doesn't matter what situation you're in. You need to at least believe you have some degree of control. When I say depression isn't real, I'm not saying you don't feel depressed. I'm saying that you can fix it. It's not a disease that you caught from the sky. You can fix it by taking control of your own mind. Listen, I'll tell you right now, I don't know how to fly a plane. I don't know. But if I was in a plane and it was crashing and I was sitting in the pilot's chair, I would still hold on to the fucking gear stick or joystick or whatever it's fucking called. I'd hold on to it and try and move. Even though I don't know what I'm doing, I'd try and get some control over the scenario. I'm not gonna give up and put my hands in the air and crash into a mountain. I would try and do something. I'm not the guy who relinquishes all his control to outside forces. I believe I have a lot of control and power within myself. So when I speak to depressed people and they sit there and say, no, you don't understand, I have depression, I have depression, I have depression. You are one, hypnotizing yourself to believe you have it, one. Yeah. Two, giving a bunch of power to this outside source instead of believing the power inside of yourself. And three, not just being realistic enough to know that I feel a certain way and I feel this way because of my life circumstances. And if I change my life circumstances, perhaps my mindset might change. And that's why I say depression isn't real. The worst things on the planet could happen to me. I refuse to be a depressed person. I may feel depressed for a day, or I may feel depressive for a few hours, but I will never be a depressed person. I'm not the guy who walks with his fucking head down. I'm the guy who walks with my shoulders back and my chin up high. That's who I am as an individual, and I absolutely not refuse to change, and I cannot catch depression. All these people out here saying that depression is a disease, I can't fucking catch it. I'm immune. Because I'm living life, they're trying to attack me with everything they can. I can't catch depression. It's never happened, never fucking will. And I stand by that. Another thing that's really important, I say this all the time, nearly every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. Every word that comes out of my mouth is self-hypnosis. And it's the same for everybody watching this. Every single word you speak is self-hypnosis. Every single thing you say out of your own mouth is almost more important than the things you hear from other people.
Amen.
You can't be sitting there saying, I'm depressed. I got a generational curse.
I'm unlucky, bro. You can't be saying these things because you're reaffirming them within your mind. I don't do that. And as many people are going to sit there and say, Tate, you're delusional, you're a narcissist. You go through the world saying you're super lucky and that you're bulletproof and you can do all these crazy things. It's impossible for you to be depressed. You're a narcissist. Perhaps. Look at my life and look at yours. Yep. So let's talk about it let's look at it in pure metrics. Who came from a worse scenario at the start? Who had a worse background? Me. Who's now more successful? Me. Who's happier? Me. Who smiles more? Me. Who sleeps easy at night? Me. Why the fuck would I want to think like you? If thinking this way makes me a bad person, but I get fucking fantastic results from my entire life, and everybody close to me gets fantastic results from knowing me, and everybody close to me absolutely adores me, why would I want to adopt your thinking and be a sad fucking sack of shit sitting on the internet trying to cancel people like a dork? I don't want to be my enemies. There's not a single enemy I have that I'm remotely envious of in any regard. Every single one of them has a shit life and a shit existence. I already won. God's already punished them. God's already rewarded me. I know these things. I'm the luckiest man on the planet. You have to say these things and you have to truly believe them.
And yet you say you're an emotional man sometimes.
No, I'm not suggesting they can't be emotional. I'm suggesting they should have control over their emotions. We should feel emotion and we should control them. A man should feel angry when it's time to feel angry, and he should control it. As with sad and everything else, there's a time you must simply perform and do the right thing. Just as the men on the Titanic felt fear and ignored it and went into the water to save the women and children. This is the bottom line of masculinity since the dawn of human time, is to do what you're supposed to do because you have a duty, not to do how you feel. I'm sure the men in the trenches didn't feel like running over the top, but they had to, because they were supposed to. That's what being a man is all about. And men should be waking up in the world today and say, I have to perform and act this way. I have to go to the gym even though I don't feel like going to the gym. I have to make money even though the economy is bad. I have to protect and provide for the people I care about. I have to do the right thing irregardless of how I feel. And the reason this is so important is because a small contingent of men do think this way. And you as a man will never be able to outcompete the people who do if you're going to act on feelings. If you're only going to go to the gym when you feel like going to the gym, you're going to constantly lose to the person who goes to the gym irregardless of how he feels, because he's there every day. And it's a very competitive world we live in, especially for men. And there's have-nots and have-yots, and it's getting worse. The rich are getting richer and the poor are getting poorer. And if you're a man waking up in the world today in a normal life and you want to be anywhere, you have to be prepared to go against killers like me, with billions, who work 18 hours a day every single day, who don't have a day off, in jail, out of jail, doesn't matter, want more. And if you're going to compete against me, you don't have time to sit around being sad, or you'll perpetually lose. And that's you're going to be reality. You're going to be a loser. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah, they want to turn men into eunuchs because their intention is to make us all slaves. And I say that, and it rolls off my tongue, and people just hear it, and they don't actually think about what I'm saying. Their intention is to turn men into eunuchs because they want to make us all slaves. I want you to actually understand exactly what I'm saying to you, because at the bottom line of revolution has always been young military-age males, and they don't want them to have enough balls or enough forward thinking or even enough care for anything outside of themselves to do something about it. Another thing people don't understand is that a lot of these attacks and a lot of things they're trying to do with the culture especially, they're trying to inject such innate selfishness inside of people that they don't really care about anything that happens outside of themselves. Because then it's very difficult to give a shit about your community. It's very difficult to have any kind of genuine care about your town or your country or an issue. No, they just want you to be self-absorbed, semi-depressed, because depressed people don't fight that hard, watching porn, living inside of your own mind, convinced that somehow you're oppressed for some reason, on the internet typing tweets. That's what they want you to do. And they're going to try and keep you there. And genuine masculinity, yeah, to a degree it's protective, and to a degree also it has parameters. You can't be a man who doesn't say no. You can't be a man who doesn't have standards for himself and for people around him. I've got labeled as ultra misogynistic because I believe that a man should have standards in his relationship. I believe a man should avoid dishonest people, male and female. You should avoid, if you're a dishonest person, if you lie, if you're going to deceive me, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman. I don't want to have anything to do with you. I was sitting talking on a panel show saying that women who are dishonest and promiscuous are not the kind of woman I'd ever want to associate with, and I was labeled misogynistic for that. So it's crazy how they'll attack you, and they'll attack you so violently and so endlessly and repeat it so many times in a bid to beat your soul down. That's what they want, especially from me. I truly believe I'm the #1 prize for them to get. If they can get me to just give up. If we can get Andrew Tate to just give up. Being a man's bad. Come on, Andrew, say it. And it's like,
it's dangerous, one thing, but it's actually genuinely also sad. When I analyze the situation in the world we're in today, part of me feels sad that we've ended up in this place where the people who are in charge are so evil and their plans are so heinous and the consequences so dire that they know they can only implement them if they genuinely remove the warrior spirit from every man on the planet. It's kind of sad.
This is another thing where it comes back to motivation and discipline. I want to really stress the difference between those two things. I was a 4-time kickboxing world champion. For 12 years, I trained 5 hours a day, 6 days a week. And I was motivated to train probably about 25% of the time. The rest of the time I went because I am disciplined. Just like you're talking about your ultra marathon. You don't feel like going through that shit on a Wednesday morning when you wake up, but you have to do it because you're disciplined. You're either a disciplined individual or you are not a disciplined individual. To sit there and say, and I'm gonna tell you the truth, Ramsey, a shit spiral, what does that mean? You go on Pornhub, or you start clicking on cat videos on YouTube. Like, if you really wanted money, you would not do that. So you don't really want it. There's a difference between want and want. And I say this all the time. People say to me, I want to be rich. And I say, okay, well, I want to be able to ice skate, but I don't want to be able to ice skate enough to go learn how to ice skate because I can't be bothered. I mean, surely if I could click my fingers and be a figure skater, I'd click my fingers. Who wouldn't? But I don't want to actually go train because I don't want it enough. And this is the exact point with money. Everyone wants money put on their lap. If you truly wanted money, you wouldn't be able to sleep until you fucking had it.
Yeah.
And this is the point. So you're saying you go down a shit spiral, then you're not cut out to be rich, my friend. Get a job in Starbucks and piss off. Some people, because when I had nothing, I couldn't be distracted. You couldn't distract me from what I wanted. That's who I am. If I want something, I'm gonna get it. So I don't know what more you want me to say. I do not need to be motivated. I'm a disciplined person. If I allocate X amount of time to work, I'm gonna do it. Now, I do have, not to do a plug or anything, but on CobraTake.com on my website, I do have like a mental focus resilience training program. So if you do wanna go through a program, which I put together, which is gonna teach you how to be disciplined, then you can go there and buy it. But that is the bottom line answer, it's discipline. You're gonna have to work when you don't feel like working. That's how it's gonna have to be, or you're never gonna be in it.
I don't believe in things that take away power from me. I don't care if depression is real. I don't care if I'm wrong. I don't believe in something that takes away power from me because I can't become depressed if I don't believe in depression. And that allows me to shield my mind from the idea of being a depressed person. I can feel depressed temporarily, but I can never become a depressed person because it doesn't exist. You can lock me in a Romanian jail cell for 93 days with cockroaches. I will not be depressed. I will feel a little bit sad, of course, but I will never become a depressed person because I don't believe in it. And when I say this, depressed people are like, no, depression's real, it's ruined my life, it's taken everything from me, depression's real, depression's real. I said, you sound like it's promotional team. You sound like it's
their
PR
God.
team.
It's their God.
They're
worshiping it.
You're worshiping it because it gives you a cure-all excuse for your monumental failures, as opposed to waking up and going, you know what, maybe I'm a fuck up. Nothing to do with depression. Maybe I've just been fucking up. Maybe depression isn't real and I've just been fucking up and I should fix a few of these things.
What have I been reaping?
Absolutely. And you'd be amazed how depression will lose power over your life and lose its ability to destroy your life if you stop giving it so much respect and just wake up and say, let me fix X, Y, and Z. What can I control?
One of the only things, Ramsey, listen to me. One of the only things in this world you can control is your state of mind. You can't control the weather. You can't control other people. You can't even control your health. You might get a brain hemorrhage, or you might get hit by a bus, or you might get assassinated. One of the very few things in the world you have genuine control over is your state of mind. You decide if you're a disciplined person. You decide if you're a happy person. You decide if you're a depressed person. These are things that in real time you can affect in your brain. This is all you can control on Earth. If you can't control that, then you're just a feather in the wind. And life's gonna blow you around and you might land somewhere good, you might land in dog shit, nobody knows. So if you're gonna be that kind of person, then you're at, like you said it perfectly, you have no will, then you're just at the whims of the earth. Who knows? You're gonna watch something on TV and they're gonna tell you something and you're gonna believe it, and you're gonna march and hold the sign and blah, blah. You're gonna be an idiot. Yeah. Your state of mind is what you should be able to control. If you can't wake up and say, today I'm making some money, and actually try your very, very best, and actually stay dedicated to that task. If you can't do that,